of our Reliance House video series, History. This portion of our video series will enlighten you to the history of our organization, as told by our Chief Executive Officer, David Burnett. The first portion of our history is the agency's original name and purpose.
This organization was called the Leisure Center, and it was a drop-in center serving any comers in downtown Norwich.
How the agency was created.
John Morosky, who's still a member of the board of directors, went to get his MSW at UConn. As part of his MSW studies, he was to do a practicum. He chose to start a nonprofit corporation to help meet the needs of discharged and disenfranchised people who'd left Norwich Hospital. And he started a corporation, which was then, as I say, called the Leisure Center. And gradually that he formed a board of directors, and gradually those people put their heads together, got some donated space in the Shannon building in downtown Norwich, and with donated time, staffed it, evenings, weekends, so on and so forth. John Morosky, Jim Cronin, Marguerite Armstrong, Peg Wilson, a whole bunch of other names. I don't recall right off the top of my head, but Susan Dodd was involved in that. And then they wrote a grant and got $15,500 from the then Department of Mental Health, and out of that paid $100 a month of rent for their space, had money for coffee and donuts, and hired me. I didn't make a lot.
How Mr. Burnett joined the agency.
In 1978, there was an ad, I guess, in the newspaper. I actually don't remember. I got the job, and believe me, it wasn't a very prestigious job. I was the only person in this drop-in center in what I would have to call the bad old days in downtown Norwich. And it was quite an experience.
What made him stay?
Actually, after being hired, and I did the job for a little while, and I actually liked it. It was kind of crazy, but I liked it. But then I had worked for TVCCA before I came to work here, and a program that I was working for was defunded. That program was refunded, and TVCCA called me and asked me if I wanted to come back and run it again. And they were going to pay more money than the Leisure Center was paying. I sat down with Marguerite Armstrong, who was a member of the board of directors then of the Leisure Center, and I told her about my dilemma. And she said, and I'll remember to this day, she said, "Dave, I think this mental health thing may go somewhere. If I were you, I'd stick here. I'd stay here." I took her advice. I think I would have made like $2,500 more if I had moved. And the rest is history. And it's been a lot of fun.
Reliance House Incorporated today.
Today we have, I don't know, we just got awarded a new contract for $1.5 million in the agency. We probably are moving from 200 towards 250 employees, over $12 million. So it's been a fun ride, and it's been very rewarding for someone who came out of the 60s rather confused about politics and social circumstances and wanting to do something that mattered, and oh boy did I happen to end up in the middle of it, and it's just been great.
You have just watched the history of Reliance House, as told by our Chief Executive Officer, David Burnett. Please stay tuned for our next video, and thank you for watching.